Hey guys, today we'll be making profiteroles and some eclairs. We'll be filling them with a salted caramel ice cream. So to start out, we're going to start by making our ice cream. We need milk, sugar, butter, sea salt, egg yolks, and heavy cream. We're also adding in some vanilla for a little extra flavor. So first out, we're going to add our sugar and distribute it evenly in the bottom of a sauce pot. Make sure it's a heavy bottomed one and that you're on a low to medium heat so your sugar doesn't burn. So after we've got it in the sauce pot, we're just going to keep a careful eye on it and make sure that we brush down the edges with some water on a paintbrush just to keep the sticky bits on the side from burning. This will also make sure that the water will help the sugar caramelize a little easier by adding extra liquid. So we're just going to keep an eye and make sure that everything is keeping going and not burning, and just adjust the heat if you find it's too hot, and just make sure that you're always watching. This will take a few minutes and it's quite the process. And when you find out that if your sugar is sometimes grouping in the middle, especially around the end, you can kind of swish the pot around a little bit to try to break up some of the crystals and get everything to cook a little more evenly. Just make sure that you don't stir it, because the crystals will start to stick to your spoon and not stay in your pot. Once you see about this color, that's when you know that you're ready for your next couple steps. Once your sugar is crystallized, you can remove it from the heat. Add in your salt and your butter and just slowly stir to incorporate. Once all incorporated, you can add in your milk and your cream, and then just put back on the heat and simmer until warm again. You may find that once you add your cream that your sugar might seize up. In this case, you can take an immersion blender and just blend until everything is smooth. Once everything is smooth, now you can heat it up again, and then you're going to slowly temper it into your eggs. Tempering means adding hot liquid into your eggs so they don't curdle. You don't want to add your eggs into your hot liquid, or else you'll have scrambled eggs and you'll have to start all over. So by slowly adding your cream mixture, or your base for your ice cream, into your eggs, you'll create a nice, smooth, silky finish. Add little bits by little bits until the egg mixture is warm, and then you can add back into your pot and start to heat again. So now you're just going to reheat to coagulate the egg yolks and thicken it up a little bit. Add the vanilla and put it onto a nice ice bath. Let it sit there until it's cool while you cool down the ice cream maker as well. Once everything is cooled down and the ice cream maker is frosted up, you can add the ice cream. You're going to let this go and make sure you turn on both the churner and the ice cream maker, and you're going to let this go for about 15 to 20 minutes until you get the consistency you'd like for your ice cream. Here you can see Sabrina turning on the ice cream maker and forgetting the other one. Don't do that. Make sure you hit both buttons, and you can watch it start to churn. So in the meanwhile, while the ice cream's going, we're going to show you how to make these strawberry flowers, which are an easy garnish for almost anything that needs a sweet garnish. So you're going to start with either a paring knife or a turning knife and just slowly pull away little pieces of the edges of the strawberry, working your way around and inwards. Make sure your pieces are thin, but not too thin to the point where you'll just cut them off. You want to make sure that they're very secure to the bottom of the strawberry, or else you will just lose petals and you'll kind of have a little bit of a mess going on. And here you can see I'm just slowly pulling away pieces and working my way to the center. And once you hit the center, you can either make more petals or section them into even pieces. So now that we're done the strawberries and the ice cream, we're going to start making the choux paste. Alright, for the choux paste we'll need milk, water, butter, bread flour, and eggs. Add milk, butter, and water and bring to a low boil. Once at a rolling boil, you can then add your flour and slowly start to mix in. Make sure you take it off the heat beforehand and then slowly stir to incorporate until the flour is dry and no longer sticking to the spoon or the sides of the pot. You may then add back to the heat and make sure that it just looks dry and it's not sticking to anything. Once your mixture is cooked, you can then add it into your mixer and make sure that it's cool. And then slowly start beating in eggs, one at a time. You may not need all the eggs, but you'll know because it'll start to pull apart into a strand-like material when you pull out the beaters. So make sure you're adding one at a time and keeping an eye on it and letting one incorporate before adding another. Don't beat too hard or too much or you may overbeat and then they will deflate when you put them in the oven. Now that you have all the eggs beaten in, you can now place your dough into a piping bag and start to pipe out. For the swans, you're going to need teardrop shape for each. So make sure that you have a nice even layer and that you press the little pieces ends down with some water. The teardrops will form the body of the swans, and then you'll see the little two shapes. You'll get a smaller piping tip and make skinny little twos for the necks. Once you have your teardrops and your twos piped out, you can also start piping out your eclairs and your profiteroles. Your eclairs are going to be about 2.5 inches wide in just a straight circular motion, and you can build them up a little bit. And then your profiteroles will be about a 1/2 inch circle, and for your eclairs you'll pipe about 2-inch logs, just straight logs. Alright, so when you're baking, you want to start out at about temperature about 415, and you may want to drop it in temperature about a few minutes later. We put ours in for about the first 7 minutes and made sure that our twos were on a different tray afterwards. So our twos baked for about 6 minutes at 415, and we finished our other ones after 7 minutes at 410, and they stayed in for another 5 minutes. And here's what they look like when they came out. So after that, you're going to cut everything in half, except for your twos, and you're going to start filling them. For your swans, what you want to do is cut them in half horizontally, and then cut your wings in half, the top part of it, in half again. So you're going to place the base of the two into your whipped cream or pastry cream, whichever you'd like, and then prop your wings on top so they kind of stick out a little bit, like so. And there you have it, a completed swan. For your eclairs and your profiteroles, once you've cut them in half, you're just going to build them up like a little sandwich, putting the ice cream in between, and then putting the tops on the top. After that, you can do a little chocolate drizzle, or chocolate dip them if you'd like. Just make sure you put them back in the freezer for them to harden. Once all of your choux paste baking has been filled and garnished the way you like, you can put them on a tray platter like so. Using different colorful things will be more eye-catching and make sure that people want to look at what you create.